advance, well, I should say that work, body of work that has done most to advance and the manned exploration of space, either personally or by robot and things of that sort. Because I was not too sure that my arm would heal in time to come down here to do this, I've asked Joe Haldeman to step forward and present the award to Kim Stanley Robinson.
Thank you, Ed. Kim Stanley Robinson is the best known and most highly regarded science fiction writer of his young generation. Oh, hello. Speaking to the Martian. Stan's Mars trilogy is as important to modern art SF as a Mars trilogy was to my generation, with the additional virtues of human characters and politics. Politics are as realistic and believable as its science and technology. Stan was my student at the Clarion Writers Workshop in 1975, when the world was young, and so was he. So at this late date, it gives me great pleasure to hand him the Highlander.
Thank you, everybody. I'd first like to thank the Heinlein Society. It's a huge honor to get this award, Lifetime Achievement for Encouragement of Space Travel, which I love to do. And I also want to acknowledge the broad-mindedness of the Heinlein Society, given that my softball team back in Davis calls me their left-handed four-eyed Dodger-loving communist first baseman. But I don't think it would have mattered to Heinlein because when I'm thinking of The Moon is a Harsh Mistress and All You Zombies and By His Bootstraps and Have Spaceship Will Travel or Red Planet, these beautiful novels and stories will they span the entire political spectrum, and they're always thought-provoking. They are permanent works for us to enjoy and be inspired by, so it's a great thing to remember. And I like to remember that I grew up in Southern California, and when Heinlein lived in Southern California and was a member of the Los Angeles Science Fiction Society, he was known as Crazy Bob. And that was partly because of a fist fight where he pounded a certain L. Ron Hubbard over at his While I'm here, I would like to say also that I am an English major and I actually know nothing about space. And so how I have done this has been from the help of my friends in the science fiction community, and I would particularly like to mention my late friend Charles Sheffield, who taught me so many things about science fiction. And as you know, was a Balticon regular and a Washington, D.C. native space scientist, great science fiction writer. And one time, my wife and I, we had our first kid. We knew nothing about kids, just like I know nothing about space, and we were sitting there in our living room with no friends, no family, and no diapers. And suddenly, through the mail slot of our rented house in Bethesda, Maryland, fell onto the floor a package of plastic diapers. And I thought, what the hell, this is so convenient. And I rushed to the door and I went out, and because of his British stiff upper lip privacy and reticence that Charles had thoughtfully gotten us the diapers, knowing we would have forgotten, but also didn't want to intrude or knock on the door. And I saw him scurrying down the street towards Wisconsin Avenue. So here's to Charles. I first went to, the first Worldcon I ever went to was the one in Baltimore in 1983, in Constellation. And I got to watch John Kessel at 6'5" and Bill Johnson at 6'10" crawl around the keel of the USS Constellation. It was a hilarious sight, and I loved that convention. And it taught me, it was an introduction to the science fiction family that has never ended for me. It's like a hometown. It's like an intellectual community, but also a hometown where you keep coming back and seeing the same people, as George mentioned. And it's a science fiction story where they get scattered out through space and time, but then they keep reconvening on weekends here or there around the world. And you can see Jules Verne or Charles Sheffield over your shoulders, and it goes on that way. It's a beautiful community. And then I was also at Balticon in 1988. It's the only other one I've ever been at, as far as I can recall. And there I met two of my closest friends, Terry Bisson and Paul Park in the bar. And that's been a great gift of Balticon to me, from then till now, from 88 till now. I guess that's getting close on to 30 years. And then lastly, Buccaneer, I just saw Pirates of Penzance in a performance done entirely with banjos and kazoos. And it was the most beautiful Pirates of Penzance I'd ever seen. And so they had literally a 1-minute intermission in which they stood and told us pirate jokes. So all these pirates, they have lots of earrings. How much does a pirate have to pay to get an earring put in? A buccaneer. Okay, thank you, and I will be soon done, if I can remember. Why are pirates so bad at playing poker? Because they're standing on the deck. Thank you.